Hi, my name is Christopher Perry, and today I am doing the presentation for the instrument flight course over approach plates. Today, because of time constraints, I'm going to go over one approach plate, just to give you a broad general overview and understanding of an approach plate and the different parts and pieces of it. So we're going to start off with my visual aid. It's going to be from ForeFlight. I use this every day in my planning as well as my flying, and it gives me the opportunity to use different plates and have that availability to me on my iPad instead of flipping through a paper copy version. So today we're just going to start with the RNAV GPS runway 4. This is for here local at my Lynchburg Airport, which I do my flight training, and we're going to go over that approach plate. It's going to be similar to how I brief and approach. The format I brief and approach for my instrument training. So to start off with, we're going to go ahead and show you the approach plate that I'm going to be using. This is going to be the RNAV runway 4 GPS approach. So a couple factors first that you want to definitely make sure you have correct here is the proper approach plate, and you're going to verify here at the top, and there's also verification at the bottom. Oh, excuse me. And you want to make sure that is correct, because if you are flying the certain approach with the wrong approach plate, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Also, another thing too you want to make sure that the plate is current. Right here along the side, there is a date, and which is verified that it is good for. They're updated almost every month for these approach plates, as if there's any changes for the approach plate will be initiated and put on there. So to start off with, we're going to start with the top portion up here. So we're going to start right here. So we have the elevation of the airport as well as the touchdown zone elevation. We have our approach course here as well as the type of equipment we're going to need for the approach. Then moving to this side over here, we have the missed approach area, which is going to tell us what to do when we have to go missed on an approach. We're then going to have this area right here, which is going to show us the type of approach lighting we're to expect for this approach. And then we have the notes section here. This is going to be for departure procedures and additional notes having to do with altimeter settings and specified things for the approach for each individual approach. And then up this top line here, you can see a bunch of numbers. Those are going to be our frequencies. We have our weather frequency, we have our approach frequency, we have our tower frequency, our ground frequency, and our Unicom frequency. And then right here, we have a visual of what our missed approach is going to look like here and the different points along that route. That's just going to be the top portion. The next portion I'm going to show you is going to be the big portion of the approach plate. This is going to be a top-down view of what the approach plate looks like. There's going to be a couple different things in there. It's going to have our initial approach fixes available, as well as our final approach fix, along with different factors like VORs used for navigation and mountainous terrains. So I'm going to point those out to you here. So right here, we're going to have the top-down view. As you can see, this is the approach. Starting from here, you have your initial approach fixes here. You have final approach fixes here. You have different visual or navigational aids to the runway, as well as you have terrain. Those little triangles are going to be mountainous areas around the approach path. Over here, we have a circle. This is going to show us in a 25 nautical mile radius of this airport. You can fly safely. For instance, if there's any emergency or something goes wrong for any reason, you can go ahead and fly at this altitude and you will not hit anything, guaranteed 25 nautical miles away from this airport within a circle. Up next, we're going to go down to this corner here. This is going to be an overview of the airport diagram. It's just a small diagram just to get you noticed of what the airport looks like. Of course, you should go ahead and check your airport and make sure you get a more detailed taxi diagram and airport diagram to know what you're going to be doing on the ground as well. But this is just here for your aid as well. And then up next, we're going to go ahead and talk about the bottom section of the approach plate. Here, just to give you a general overview before I show it to you, it's going to show the alongside view of what the approach is going to look like. It's going to show you your course. It's going to show you your altitudes. It's going to show you different points like Kilby, Coac, and Kebab. These are used for our navigational purposes, so we know where we are on the approach and make sure that we're doing the approach properly. And then I'm also going to show you the final approach fix, where it's located along where you're going to capture the glide slope all the way down, because this is automated GPS approach. So we're going to show you that here. Down at the bottom, you have your final approach fix and your glide slope right there. You're going to show you that your different points, as I said before, Kilby, Koak, and Kabab, all the way down to your minimums where your go missed, where the runway's at. Then down here, you're going to have your minimums. It's going to have a certain altitude that you're going to plug into your system on your aircraft, and at that point, you're going to go missed. If you're not able to go ahead and visually see the runway or visually see the airport environment or approach lights, you're going to go missed. No matter what, you're going missed at that point, and you're going to go ahead and then go back up to that corner up there, and you're going to do the missed approach procedure. At this point, you should already know what your missed approach procedures are, and you should just be following those out once you go missed on this approach. That's going to go ahead and also give you your visibility. So for instance, for this approach, it's going to be 1,175 feet is going to be your minimum altitude, is where you're going to go missed, and then your visibility is going to be at 4,000 feet. Now, something different depending on some approaches. Some use feet as far as your visibility, and some use miles for the visibility. So it's important to make sure you know which is which on the approach plate. And then, of course, at the bottom, it's going to go ahead and verify once again that this is the proper plate. RNAV GPS runway 4 at Lynchburg, Virginia. So that's just a broad overview of the plate and what it looks like. There's a lot of different factors in there. Me personally, I'm loving Instrument. I'm growing to love it every flight I take. It's just a lot of fun. It's very important to know how you're planning and using your aircraft automation. So making sure you're planning and being on top and ahead of the plane is always very important. But that's just a general overview for the runway RNAV GPS 4 approach. It's an approach I fly all the time here at Lynchburg. And that's a general overview. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.